Trying to distract myself right now. I put more I had peanuts out this morning, but it rained last night. Ooh, pretty blue jay. It rained last night, and it's off and on today. So they it's gonna rain throughout the day, as the forecast says. So come on, come on. This looks like one that was maybe just born this year. It looks like he's young. Come on. Better hurry. Somebody else is on the bush. There you go. Big boy. The other birds, as you see, the next one, I just put those peanuts out again. Like I said, they had them out earlier, but I just got more out. I mean, like, not even 2 minutes ago. I didn't put a shit ton out because I don't want to be out completely before the end of the month. It's probably another blue jay. I see the bush shaking, but I don't think it's a squirrel yet. It doesn't seem to be the shaking of a squirrel. I know that's weird, but when it has leaves on it and when it doesn't have leaves on it, I can always tell. Usually, as long as it's not windy, I can usually tell if it's either a smaller bird, a blue jay, or a squirrel coming up the bush before I see it. When it's windy, it's harder. Well, when it's windy and there's leaves on the bushes, then it's a little difficult. If it's windy and it's just, a bare, naked bush in the, colder weather, it doesn't matter if it's, unless it's hurricane windy. But yeah, it's interesting after a few years of constant, because it's right here, as you've seen my other videos. Right, I have a desktop. I don't have a laptop or a tablet. I have my phone and a desktop. That's it. Right now, this is obviously the phone. The desktop, the camera is the webcam. I mean, it's not even a expense. I mean, it was a $40 camera. That's a lot for me, but that's not an expensive camera. I'm aware of that. But yeah, you could tell by the amount of shaking. You say, oh, it's just a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bird. It's like a wren or a sparrow or chickadee kind of thing. But blue jays shake it more. Squirrels shake it the hardest because they do a hop thing, and they're what makes contact with the thing they're landing on has more surface space, their paws, as opposed to bird feet. So I believe, and plus their weight, just when it's windy and there's leaves on there, I mean like full, it's a little harder to tell. I could definitely tell when a squirrel's coming, but sometimes I can't tell the difference between a blue jay and maybe a dove. So I put it up because it started getting busy, but I guess they're not. Maybe the rain has gotten some worms and such out of the ground. They should feast on them because if it rains again, it's supposed to. They're not gonna, they're not gonna be able to do that. That's when they all come here. Last night it got a little chilly. It did, and went to the bathroom middle of the night, and I can see out the window. The window's open because I need some air. I always have to have windows cracked. So is the bed. They all are. It's not freezing yet, but it was cool. But the heat's on, and I just peeing, and I look over at the The window's like in the shower, and the bush is right in front of the window, and it's tall, so even if you're in the shower and somebody looked in, all they could see, because I'm short, is my neck up. And they probably can't even see that because of the bush. But what I'm getting at is I know the warm air was coming out. Oh, I'm glad I stayed. Got to hear him too. He's telling everyone, buffet's open, guys. Hurry up. I'm glad I hung out just talking with you guys. Had a feeling that we're going to get something, just some nice things to see. I won't take this forever, but yeah, anyway, I looked over last night and there was a bunch of the little birds, you know, the sparrow, wren type of birds. Middle of the night, sitting on the, just on the top of the bush, not even like really high at all, you know. I'm thinking, what? And then I thought, oh, I know what it is. They did the same thing last year. I'm pretty sure. And here too, during the night. The windows are even just cracked. The heat is coming through. And so they sit on the shrubbery right outside my windows or the window ledge and just hunker down with the warmth coming out. That's hilarious, guys. I mean, you know, it's not like I'm wasting heat because I need the heat, but I need air because too much dry heat, like this gas heat, it for some reason, it really, I don't know, natural heat, like in the desert or something, it's not the same as gas heat or electric. It's just not the same. It just dries me out, and I have sinus problems anyway for decades. So I don't need no more, you know, changes in the sinuses. So for me, I don't put the heat up and down. I put it in mid-range, and then I just, most of the time, unless it's a blizzard, and I'll turn it up a little, but, and then I just open and close the windows. Sometimes it's just a little crack in like one side of the apartment and one in the other, just for a little cross ventilation. I'm like that. I was like that. The only time I didn't have windows open all the time was in the desert when it was really hot. And you had to put the air conditioner on. If it was swamp cooler weather without humidity, opening the windows or putting the swamp, you know, you're still getting external air, I guess. This isn't getting fresh air with heat. It's just heated air being pushed in. It's not the same as cool air. At least in my sinuses, it's not. I definitely notice the difference. So even in a blizzard, I'll have probably at least maybe an inch of a window open. And usually it's in the room that I'm in, so I can get some of that. And I always have a fan. That's, you probably hear it in the background. It's right there on, see that black thing? I didn't make the bed today. I just didn't feel like it. I'm trying to distract myself because my Earth twin son is getting ready real soon to go into surgery. We live with his dad. He's across the country. And it's a heart defibrillator surgery. And it's because he's got the same thing we found out when his twin ran ahead 3 years ago. That's the first time we even knew anything was wrong with either of them. They were perfectly healthy. It's very rare syndrome, the heart. It doesn't have any symptoms. Usually isn't diagnosed until the person has a cardiac arrest. And most of the time, because of this issue, that first one is usually the last one, meaning you will never get another one again because you're not alive physically anymore. Didn't want to go do it, the doctor, until he was a few years older, because your organs and stuff are still growing and finishing, adult size until your very early 20s. And his twin passed like 6 weeks before their 16th birthday. He was 15, just turned 19. His Earth twin. And they really wanted to wait until he was 21. But due to the recent American election results, they may not have the insurance, the health insurance coverage for something like this. A defibrillator implant. And so that's why I'm worried, because it's not the optimal time physically. He was in the middle of he can't do hard exercise, because anything that gets the heart rate up or gets a fever or like makes you sweat or any kind of thing like that, exertion, could trigger it. A high fever could trigger it. Yeah, it sucks. But I know, odd to be watching the birds and talking. But like I said, today is unusual. I don't talk this much. But yeah, that's why I'm worried. I mean, heck, even when my pets go under anesthesia, I worry, because anesthesia, you never effing know. And I myself am sensitive to some anesthesia, some of the older kind. They thought they were going to lose me one time just coming out of it. But I don't know, if it's been passed down. They've had some minor surgery. They've had anesthesia before for a few things, but he has. But, I'm a mom, and I'm just worried. They're halfway across this country from me, so it's not like I can have any control over anything. And waiting for surgery, news, as a lot of you probably know, is just already nerve-wracking when you're waiting from half a country away. And it's concerning something that already took the other twin away. Kind of hard to not be a little anxious. I won't say worried, but just anxious. I just want to get that text that says he's out and he's awake. That's all I want to hear. And the surgery isn't until 1 o'clock there. It's 2 o'clock our time on the East Coast. So they're there right now. They got a couple hours of prepping. Did a bunch of tests yesterday to make sure he was okay to go for surgery, blood tests, cell counts, all that crap. Make sure everything's cool. So, I see. It's a good thing oh, you see that little chickadee? Or was it sparrow? It was on the bush. Did you guys see it? Oh. Ooh, blue jay got it. Ooh. The doves have arrived. You see some on the fencing out there. I thought we were going to get swarmed by the starlings early this morning, because they came swarming up to that roof over there across the way. I mean, they came in mass. They all settled up there, and I was like, oh, it's the birds. Oh my gosh. Doves really are pretty. They look very, it's ADHD going all over the place. They look very dull, just looking at them. They're not even iridescent like their, cousins, the pigeon. But when you see them when they're in flight, they're underneath. They have that steel blue and that beautiful white. They're actually very, very pretty. See? They're actually really pretty birds up close. Same thing with the blue jays. I mean, we already know they're beautiful, but you just see the colors so bright when they're just like, I mean, literally, they're 5 feet away from us right now. I'm sorry. I'm not looking through I wasn't looking through the viewfinder. I was looking at them. Seriously, guys, y'all are just 5 feet away from the window here. I've actually been sometimes lying down just watching something on the on YouTube on the desktop. Just lying there, just real quiet, watching something or listening to it podcast. Got to get off my foot or something. And there have been times, not the doves, but the blue jays and the squirrels, that I'm so still, and they're used to hearing human voices and still coming up to the window. As you can see, at first, when they first visit, they get skittish like those little birds. See him? He's actually got bold and got right up there, pushed right in there. Come on. He's trying to push right in there. Good. But yeah, this is why I'm holding this so long. This is why I was talking so much more than I usually do on... Oh. Yeah, somebody scooped in. They'll be back. I'm trying to distract myself. And I keep looking at the birds, not at the windows, not at the camera. But yeah, it's going to be a 2-hour surgery, so if it's 2 o'clock my time that he goes in, he won't even be out till 4 if everything goes as expected. It's supposed to be a 2-hour surgery, not a quickie. I think I'm not sure if they're putting this over his sternum or under his sternum, between the sternum and the heart. I don't know which one they wanted to do. That's why they wanted to wait, so they could do that one, because it's much better to do it like that than put it on top of the ribs, but it wasn't the one to do under, which is a better long run. She wanted to wait longer for, the growth and everything, so as it finishes growing, it doesn't impede where they put it. Makes sense. But being as that, she said if they did it, she said like 6 months ago, if we do it now, we would have to be putting it on the outside, because he doesn't have enough muscle on the outside to like protect it, because he can't do a lot of exercises or any kind of sports or any kind of thing that works up a sweat. Or he could die. It's so messed up. And he's a young guy, just messed up. And he has autism. It's very high end. I mean, it's just mostly, he's kind of like Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory, or like Spock on the old Star Treks. Yeah. Smart. He obviously can communicate. He just doesn't. He doesn't get the emotions quite as much. It's interesting because he definitely got a lot more of my linear, logical part of me, because I can go into total dork mode sometimes. Big time. And I have a little of that, plus I have ADHD. His spirit twin had ADHD. Huge. I mean, massive dose of ADHD. That kid was big time ADHD when he was young, when they lived with me until age 7. 6, 7. But, yeah. So I'm just a little concerned. If the election had gone another way and we weren't worried about health care being yanked before he could have the necessary medical procedure, we would have waited. couldn't, because what happens if we waited and he was able to do all what he promised and lost a lot of shit? We'd be really screwed. He really wouldn't be able to do anything. He can do a little more and not be as worried. Hello, squirrel. See, right now he just has a monitor. If he has an irregular heart rhythm or something for no reason, it'll immediately alert his father, immediately alert their surgeon, so they can immediately, get help wherever he is to make sure it wasn't something that was quick enough that didn't do anything, or you know what I'm saying. But this is a defibrillator implanted, which basically it'll disrupt it. So it won't only catch and monitor and report to his dad and to their surgeon and their team if there was an alert because there was an irregular rhythm or something, just like the monitor currently was doing. But it could also give it's like its own little miniature, like, a AED. It'll give a little jolt, kind of regulated, and in case, if it was where if it senses that the heartbeat has stopped, it will do something itself until help gets there, because it still has notified everybody. So they still need to get their asses there and get a regular one and get them to see what damage was done. But it'll help if they'd even had an AED, the fib, in the school at the time, because they didn't. The schools, that state didn't. My state does. He may have been able to be saved. They got CPR. He was noted. It was seen, and they got to him like within, I think they said within 2 minutes to start the CPR. So as far as but the reason, so he was getting air, but the heart wasn't, and the heart had damage to it. And you don't know, because they didn't have anything within those first 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, except CPR, but it wasn't a shock. They said there was massive damage done to the heart when they finally, looked, but at those first immediate minutes, maybe some of that other damage, so maybe the initial damage, and then there might have been excessive because of, not being able to get a heartbeat type of thing. Even though he was getting oxygen, because they couldn't get the heart going. The brain swelled so fucking much. It still wasn't getting enough oxygen, because you got to get that back, I think it's like 4 to 7 minutes or something. To be sure there won't be, issues from it. But, yeah. They managed, him and his dad managed in their state to get the governor to sign for the AEDs statewide. Be in every teaching facility in the state. They were just a few days ago in the state capitol, to the Senate, in meetings, trying to get it national before the new administration comes, because they won't do it. If they can get it in and get it codified, they need to get that taken care of. That means every state, I think 49 or something like that, I don't know, 21, I don't know, states have them, but we need to have a federal mandate. Every teaching facility of any type has to have an AED, and every adult needs to be trained in it and research, like every year, like refreshed. And I think it's not just the kids and the students. I mean, talk about events. There's all the teachers, the cleaning staff, all the, you know, office staff, um, parents that come and go when they have plays or concerts or, you know, carnival, whatever. All these events where public are there with little babies, and they should have these things in every single state. It should be mandated. They should have them. They're not cheap. The units are not cheap. But you're talking about freaking lives of all, across all ages, genders, national. I mean, you know, it's everybody. It would help. Anybody that walks on those premises for anything would be able to be helped if they had needed it. But you can darn well be sure that this administration coming in, they ain't gonna do that. Oh hell no. So yeah, and the state that they live in, that they actually got, I think they had to go back to the state capital, their state, for like 2 or 3 times before they got it through. That's a red state, and they got it through. They had Project Adam and the American Heart Association helped big time. But sure, it wasn't easy for their dad or for my Earth twin. For their dad to go and tell them the story that I just told you about our our now spirit twin son, and then our son talked to them about living with the same condition that took his twin away from him, while he has a spectrum, you know, a lot of light, a lot of people, that kind of thing. Things are super sensitive to light, noise, touch, fabrics, you know. I get that because that's kind of what I have too. But I am super emotional, where he's very logical, linear, like I was saying. I can also be that way, but I can also be very, very, very emotional. But the spirit twin was like me in that respect. He got almost all of that. Well, the other one got almost all of the, just the linear logic part. He got more of that. I used to call them, I still do, my yin yang twins. They looked opposite too. One had fair skin like me, blue eyes, and the other one has more caramel colored skin, dark brown eyes, dark lush black lashes. Totally, totally opposite in looks too, those two. Yet they were definitely twins. I'm just so worried about them today. Okay, guys, I'm gonna peace out right now because my arm is tired. We got a nice mix there, didn't we? Thanks for listening. I just figured maybe while I started filming this, I thought, I'm just standing here. It was just eating at me, and I thought, you know what? If I have to tell, if I have to get it, you know, get it out, get it off my chest, you might as well at least be looking at. You could turn the volume down or something. I mean, instead of just making a video just for that, that's like lame. I just, oh look, there she is sitting there crying for the next 20 minutes. That's great. If you're a parent and you're watching and listening to this point, and you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not a parent, Um, that's what it's like for some of us. If you really love your kid, you are always, I don't care if they're 60 years old and you're still alive, you still worry about them. I don't care if they disowned you, you still worry about them. You can't just dump them from your life. You know, even if they disown you and it's been decades, you still worry about them. You know, that's the way it is. You still love them just because they disowned you or they, you still love them, you know? Of course, if you disown them, that's a different story, but that's not love. They're your child, you know? What they are, if you don't like or want to reject who they are, you might as well reject half yourself because half of you is in them. But when they disown you, and they don't, and it's not only me. They, yes, my oldest has, but disowned the whole family. Yeah, I don't know why. Every single one of us, we're a very, very progressive liberal family. We were like, you know, whatever you have to tell us, what's the problem? What's the difference? You gonna sit down and eat here or what? It doesn't matter. What are you gay? Are you trans? Are you tri? Do you want to wear nail polish but you're just straight? You don't know how to tell us. What is it? Whatever it is, it doesn't, fine. But the worst thing that, and I wouldn't disown them. I do understand how like serial killers and stuff, they're especially parents, they're like, you could be horrified, disgusted, disappointed, you know, and everything else, and think he's evil or she. I just said he because most serial killers are male. No matter what they did, yeah, it's horrendous and you don't approve and all that, but there's still that, but you're my kid. I love you, but you're a horrible person, but you know, you're my kid. So I do get that. So if you don't have a kid and you think, how can people, you know, they do. How can somebody do that? It's crazy sometimes, but when it's your kid, especially moms, and only because you've carried that being inside you, for some reason it just really hard to just stop loving your kid just because they don't love you, you know? Now, I mean, if you're the horrible person, okay, yeah, I could get why you don't like your parent, you know? But, yeah, it sucks. I'm sure it's what they need to do, but, you know, when you're doing what you're doing and you don't know why you're doing it, and the person asks why, what did you do, what did we do, and they say nothing, not, I mean, you know, and they give you, it's weird. It's weird. People disown parents for all kinds of reasons. Some of them are good. Some of them, I don't, man. You know, there's times like that I wonder, man, do people that are on the spectrum maybe, like, don't have as much stress and grief in life and frustration and stuff because emotions aren't high on a factory in their life, you know? They died. That sucks. We're all gonna die. It really sucks. I mean, but it's kind of like, can we go to so and so tomorrow? It's like so and so just died. Your cousin or something like that. But it's yeah, but Can I do anything about it? Is being sad gonna help him? It's not gonna help me feel better about it. Yeah, it sucks. I would have rather have him here than not. But, it's kind of like that thing. And that, I sometimes I wonder. If every now and then, I just wish sometimes I could slip into that, But that linear, logical part is definitely not overwhelming the emotional part. All right, guys, my arm is. Every time I say I'm going to turn it off, then they start coming around. Look how cute that squirrel is. You see his little face. You see, he's not even trying to act like he's just eating lunch. Dude is just obviously going off, burying something. Oh, he's probably buried them in my frickin' pots. I wish they wouldn't bury them because they're here. I wouldn't run out before the end of the month if you didn't take so many to bury them. The only reason you bury them is because you run out every now and then for a few days. Crazy little brats. Crazy little kids. All right, I'm really gonna go because my arm is killing. I don't even know how long this video is. Anyway, guys, peace out. I hope we get some good. We really need some real rain. I actually hope we do get poured on today. Peace out, guys. Hope you have a good day.